to the show today. Today I wanted to read up on this article. It's going to be pretty much brief on Lebrone James Son going out with a white girl. You've seen a lot of sisters on Twitter criticizing him, talking about, oh, why you want to go out with a white girl as opposed to a white girl. So, and I was watching that article and I thought it was just a little bit ridiculous. Because I don't understand why everybody was talking about why you want to go. I mean, come on. Seriously, it's a picture he decided to, mind you, there's some people started to reflect on look at other pictures as well too. Because there were other black celebrity sons that also decided to take white girls to the prom as well too. So all of a sudden, the sisters started to complain about, and I'm not saying all sisters, there are certain sisters that are complaining, saying, why he wanted to take white girls, or why they wanted to take white girls to the prom. I guess that notion is that they're trying to say, oh, well, white girls, they think they're too good for black girls, whatever. And I don't think that's the case. You know what I mean? And I think it's ridiculous that these young men, and I call him a young man because he's still young, he's between the age of adolescent, in his teenager year, you know what I mean? And he's in that age where he just wants to have fun. They're in the age where they just want to have fun, and go to a prom, have fun, and then come back. There's something like when at our age, we look back at some of the things that we did when we were young. And, we were proud of that. We had fun, we went dancing, we went skiing, we went this and that. And it's the same thing. When you're young at that age, you just want to be able to go and have fun. And that's the same thing. And I don't understand why this notion that they're bombarding these articles and these pages on Instagram and Twitter, why ain't going out with a white girl, and the things that they've stated in itself are racist things. Talk about, oh, why, one article saying, oh, well, he's going out with them because they're too easy. Yeah, like, seriously, what? So he pretty much can't go out with white girls because the only reason why he's going out with white girls is because they're too easy. Who says that? So they're making the notion that somehow all sisters respect themselves. If that was the case, how many sisters that we have today that are basically unwed, unmarried, with bastards, kids all over? And I'm not saying all sisters are a reflection of that, but I do have some that are a reflection of that as well too. So this notion that somehow white girls are easy is ridiculous. That's not always the case. This is a young black man. His father is probably one of the most known athletes in the world, if not probably the most known athletes in the world at this point. His mom is a very beautiful black woman, and she's not ratchet at all. She's a very beautiful, articulate, intellectual woman. I'm sure that's probably the reason why, LeBron James, his father himself, fell in love with her. So, and the kid grew up in an affluent neighborhood, very rich neighborhood. And 9 out of 10 times, most of those neighborhoods that are very, very high end, they generally tend to have a very large population of white people. I would say probably even his school, I would imagine it was probably maybe 80 to 90% white. So what happens if you go to a school that's 89% white? You're more than likely going to, your dating habits, in other words, is going to be a reflection of the demographic of your community. Just like if you're white and you live in a black or majority black neighborhood, or you're black and you live in a majority Hispanic neighborhood, or whatever the case is, vice versa, whatever, you're more than likely, your relationship or your dating habit is going to be a reflection of your community or your surroundings. That's a fact. So if they grew up in an affluent neighborhood and the majority of the girls around in schools tend to be white, more than likely they're going to go out with girls to the prom that would happen to be white. Are there black girls in that school? I'm sure there are. But nobody goes and complains about the black girls that go out with white boys at proms. You see that article all the time. They post pictures of, black female celebs that go out with white boys to the prom, and they're like, oh, you go girl, blah, 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 blah. No one says there's anything negative about them going out with the white boy. But somehow when it comes to a black man or LeBron's son or any other black athlete or celebrity going out with a white girl, somehow it's either has anything to do with him getting some, or she's easy, or basically he doesn't respect his mama, or something else. I don't know. It could be anything as long as it's negative. And this is my take. This is the reason why I was a little bit perplexed at the Twitter posts and so many other things that I saw. I felt like it was completely wrong. And the notion somehow that going out with a white girl to the prom just to have fun means that he hates black girls. It's ridiculous. And you've seen a lot of my posts. I talk a lot about black girls, specifically, or black women. But I don't generalize and say all of them. I just specifically make the notion that certain ratchet behavior I think is wrong, and I go in on ratchet behavior. That doesn't mean that I go and state that all black women are ratchet. No, of course not. Because I am a product of a black woman as well too. So I can be critical of certain black women. That does not mean I hate black women. It's the same thing. If boys decided to go out with a white girl, that doesn't mean that they hate black women. And you know what? The second thing is that, people have different preferences. If it's a black woman, I want to go out with a white boy, so a white man, so there's nothing wrong with that. That's their preference. I have nothing against that. Or vice versa, there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, people have their preferences. If that's what they want to go out with, fine then. That doesn't always mean that they have to be anti, their own race in order for them to go out with someone of that same race. You're more than likely, sometimes some people just want to try something different. Or they like something, maybe an exotic person or somebody with different, different nationality or race or etc. So, I think we just have to look at it from that angle. Not always look at everything being race or bad or anything like that. I mean, I go on black men as well too. I don't generalize black men, I speak about thugs as well. Criminal elements within the black community of men that are criminal as well. That doesn't mean that I hate all black men. Because in itself, if I do that, if I say I hate all black men, then I'll be hating myself. So rather, you can be critical of your own race, but at the same time, you can speak specifically. See, as long as you're not general, you speak of the subset of people that are acting a certain way, and be specific on that. That doesn't make you racist of your own race. So the same thing that I'm reflecting on right now, that the boys decided to go out with white girls that are reflected of their community. You know what I mean? That doesn't, so I think that we need to stop with this notion that somehow they hate black girls. Who knows? Maybe they might even end up marrying a woman just like their mom. We know that 9 out of 10 times boys tend to marry women that are similar to their mom in that aspect. So maybe he's young right now, they're young, they just want to go out to the prom, have fun. But when they're older, more mature, in that age where they want to have a long-term relationship, there's a possibility they might end up with black women and marrying black women and having black kids as well too. Especially his father being an outspoken person within the black community, spoken about the Black Lives Matter and other things. So there's more. So the boys they know about race, they understand race and all that. So I think we need to chill criticizing young men going to the prom. You know what I mean? I mean, relax. You know what I mean? There are other things that we can focus on. The boys just want to have fun. They go on to the prom. And if they happen to go with black girls, fine, that's great. If they happen to go with white girls, fine, that's great. It has nothing to do with race. We need to chill, start being critical of young black men going out with whatever they want to go out with, as far as going out with whatever race. If they wanted to go out with a Chinese girl, that would have been okay too. I don't have any issues with that. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my take on that. So please comment, subscribe, and tell me what you think. And we'll take it from there. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.